Abigail of Ground and Grow Yoga, and today I have a grounding standing yoga flow for you. So this whole video will be standing, working on balance and just really connecting down to the ground. So in this time of uncertainty, it's very important to feel comfortable in your own body and to feel grounded, since there's all sorts of different emotions and things going on. You do not need anything, but if you have a block, that might be helpful. So hop on your mat and let's get started. Come to stand in the center of your mat, feet hip width or wider apart. Stand up nice and tall, making sure that the hips are right over the knees, right over the ankles. And I want you to inhale in and out, really connecting to your breath, coming into this moment and setting an intention of what you want to get out of today. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, release. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, release. Up again, nice and tall. Exhale, release. From here, we're going to turn towards the front of our mat, and we're going to bring our arms up and then down behind us with our knees bent. So up and straighten the legs, down and bend the knees. Up and straighten, down and bend. Bringing the feet together, we're going to come down into our chair pose. So knees come together, toes come together, and arms reach towards the sky. You can keep your feet still hip width apart and use a block between your inner thighs, and that's going to help you to have a little bit more stability. Either way, we really want to feel those inner thighs engage and connect to each other. So whether they're pressing towards each other or squeezing the block, we really want to have that kind of turned on feeling through the inner thighs. Come a little bit lower and then release. We're making sure that the feet are hip width apart, and we're going to step the right foot back, having the toes off at an angle, and then bend through that left knee, coming into warrior one. You can widen your stance if you need to, and you can also bring your feet out so you don't feel like you're on railroad tracks. Hands can be on the hips or up towards the sky. Warrior one. Breathing here. Really feeling your connection to the ground. We're going to straighten that front leg, and we're going to bend forward, keeping our back nice and straight, coming into pyramid pose. You can have your hands on your hips, you can bring them to your leg, or you can bring them to blocks on either side to help you find length here. You again want to straighten out the back as much as possible, however you are, and don't put your hands on your knee. So it can be above your knee or below your knee, but not on your knee. So breathing here, feeling the feet really rooted to the ground. Come back up to warrior one, but bring the hands behind you, interlace the fingers, and then you can exhale, coming forward at an angle to come down into humble warrior. If this is not comfortable with the hands behind your back like this, you can use your blocks again to give yourself support and come down at this angle with a flat back. So however this is comfortable for you, this is a pose of surrender. Coming up slowly, we're going to place the blocks in front of us, and then we're going to step the back foot towards the front foot, have our hands out in front of us, and come forward into warrior three. So the blocks are here to help you. If the blocks are not helping you, you can move them, but we're trying to keep our hips level and trying to keep the back toes pointed towards the ground. You can bring your hands out behind you or up in front of your head to come into classic warrior three. So drop the back leg and then step back to the front. And we're going to do the same motion with our arms coming forward and back. Only we're going to come up on our toes and then bend deeply. So up and back. Up onto tippy toes, back and bend the knees. Up onto tippy toes, back and bend the knees. With our feet close together, or again, using the block, we're going to come down into chair pose. If you're using the block, I would suggest having it up towards the inner thighs, not right at the knees. And then we're coming in, holding this chair pose. So although chair is a challenging pose, it does help you be in the moment and to be grounded. We're going to step the left foot back now, toes slightly off the mat, and bend through that right knee, making sure our knee is over our ankle. Hands can stay on the hips or they can come up towards the sky. Breathing here, nice full breaths, really feeling the feet grounded into the mat. All standing poses are very grounded because you have that connection to the ground underneath you. Straighten the front leg. You can bring the blocks in if that's helpful. Coming down into pyramid pose. We just want to keep the back nice and straight and our hips as level as possible. So dip the chin slightly. Breathing here. Bend through that front knee, come back up and interlace the fingers behind you. Try to do it the opposite as before. And then we're coming back down at an angle. So again, use the blocks to help if it's not comfortable to have your arms behind your back. So this is an intense shoulder opener when the arms are behind us, but otherwise it's just a nice gentle twist if you're using the blocks. Put the blocks in front of you, straighten both legs, bring the back foot forward, and we're going to lean towards our blocks, coming up into our warrior three. Again, trying to keep the hips as level as possible and the back toes pointed towards the mat. You can bring your arms behind you as if you were flying. Balance is another thing that grounds us because you have that little wobble. Step that foot back and bring it back to the front. And now we're going to do our tree pose. So inhale, arms come up. Exhale, bring it to heart center, palms pressed together. Bringing the left foot up, we're going to hold the knee. And so again, this balance is helping us to be able to feel where we're touching the ground and where we're not. Coming into tree, you can bring your foot to the inner thigh or anywhere on the leg besides directly on the knee. And you want to make sure that you have, again, that pressing of the inner thigh against the foot. You can have the hands at the heart or you can lift them all the way up towards the sky. So wherever you are, you just want to have that kind of suction cup feel. Release it down slowly, bringing it in front of the other foot. And we want to bend through that front knee, keeping the back leg straight. We're getting a nice IT band stretch here. If it's not comfortable, you can adjust where the feet are on the mat, maybe taking a wider stance. Release the foot, slowly roll up, and we're going to repeat it to the other side. So bringing the right knee up in towards the chest, standing nice and tall, embracing that little bit of wobble, and then see where this foot feels comfortable, if it's the inner thigh or down on the shin or all the way down to the mat. And this side might feel different. So for me, this one doesn't want to stay all the way up towards the groin, so I'm going to bring it down to my shin. But regardless, we're pressing in foot into leg, leg into foot, and hands are either at heart center or up towards the sky. Breathing here. Hands come back to heart center. Release that foot down in front of the other, making sure the knee is bent, back leg is straight, and we're releasing forward for that IT band stretch. Slowly release and roll up, coming halfway and then back down. Come up halfway and then back down. Halfway, back down. Holding it here for a second. Really allowing any negativity to fall through our head down to the mat, and then roll up as slow as possible. Bring your hands over your heart and set an intention for the rest of the day. I am grounded. I am at peace. I can handle whatever the world throws at me. Whatever it is, I want you to keep it at your heart as you breathe here. Palms come together into prayer. Namaste. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like as well as comment and subscribe. Subscribers allow me to continue to make free content. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.